This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
Wow, it's hot enough out there to fry chicken. Summer's coming, so now's the time to find ways to beat the heat, and Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, is the best place to go to get cool. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, which provides complete air conditioning, installation, inspection, and repair services, is offering its air conditioning inspections for just $98. So beat the heat right now by calling Marv's Plumbing and Heating today at 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And we're halfway home to the weekend. Welcome once again to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Perotti along with Nick Perotti. Our program being brought to you by Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way, along with Platte Valley Bank. At two locations on Banda High on the north side, east side, catch them at the corner of College and Pershing. Medicap Pharmacy on Bluegrass Circle next to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body ×2, the main repair center on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center on Pershing Boulevard. The Key people of Cheyenne, Rachel will come on by. She's the point person. You can reach her at 414-0074. Then her cleaning people will come on by and clean it so you don't have to. The Key people of Cheyenne. First Tier Bank, make sure you're talking to them about CD rates, and Tim and his great staff will take good care of you Monday through Friday over at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Across the street, watch out for the construction. 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D. It's Mondello's Pizzeria. Delicious pizza pie, stromboli, calzones, and delicious sandwiches on fresh baked bread. Just to throw that out there. 7 days a week, you can enjoy Mondello's Pizzeria. The Wyoming Montana Safety Council we just heard from. Also, we just heard from Mars Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue. Remember, get those air conditioning units checked out right now. Lakeway Liquors at 2825 East Lakeway. You're getting done with work today. Head on over and grab a cool one, take home. Taco John's featuring loaded potato olay, 6-pack at a pound. And of course, every Tuesday it's Taco Tuesday. Taco John's of Cheyenne. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service, where it's the clearance sale going on right now. And again, you'll find some great deals, especially on the 17s and 16s. Save up to 30% off over at Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service here in Cheyenne, your home for Jayco products. And we also want to say thank you to Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range, right across from Menards. Remember, in addition to delicious lunch and dinners, don't forget breakfast is served about 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. And, of course, they've got 2 convenient drive-thrus to make things get through smoothly for you each day you're at Chick-fil-A, corner of Windmill, Del Range, right across from Menards. And last but not least, we get things underway with our scoreboard, and it's brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hockey action for tonight. It will be Game 6 of the Kelly Cup Final down at the Budweiser Event Center as the Colorado Eagles take on the Florida Everblades in Game 6 of the Kelly Cup Final. That game will get underway tonight at 7:05 p.m. Baseball action from yesterday with Cheyenne Post 6. They were in action down at Greeley, taking on the Greeley Gojos. They won that in a pretty good fashion by a score of 15-3. Cheyenne Post 6 right now on the season, 26-0. So that's what's happening, at least on hockey and baseball from around the area.
Speaking of baseball, the Major League Baseball scoreboard looks like this. Couple of games on the afternoon tilt. It's the Padres at Petco leading the Bravos on getaway day 2-1. They moved to the bottom of the fifth. Bottom of the fourth inning in San Francisco at AT&T. Also getaway day between the Giants and the Diamondbacks, and they are knotted up at 2 apiece. Final in the books already. Nationals beat the Rays 11-2. It was the Indians 3, Brewers 1. The Mets are shut out by the Orioles 1-0. Later on, Dodgers at the Pirates, Yankees and the Blue Jays in the Rogers Center, Tigers, Red Sox at Fenway. The Rocks and the Reds will meet again at Great American Ballpark, where Cargo blasted one yesterday, 473 feet. It was the Athletics. They're in action tonight. They will be in Texas to face the Rangers. Phillies and the Cubs once again at Wrigley. White Sox, Twins at Target Field. Mariners and the Astros at Minute Maid. Marlins and Cardinals at Busch. And then the Angels at Angel Stadium, Anaheim. They will play host to the Kansas City Royals. It is Game 3 tonight at the Quicken Loans Arena between the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. So the Land back home to take on the Town. That will tap at our time about 7 o'clock. Golden State leading that best-of-7 series 2-0, hopefully getting the sweep with the next 2 games at the Quicken Loans Arena. Scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
This is the Pepsi that's got a date with your taste buds. We're talking 1,000 bubbles dancing a two-step with you and 2 tacos at 2 a.m.
Order number 83? Come on, you're up!
This is the Pepsi that has mastered the art of the late-night munchies and is always down to dig into some deep dish.
Hey, we don't do deep dish, capiche?
Try telling that to Chicago. This is the Pepsi for po' boys, pulled pork sliders, and the godfather of all sandwiches, the Godfather. This is the Pepsi for street carts, anything a la carte, and is dying to make the leap into your grocery cart. Come on, take us home with you. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 K-Ray.
Welcome to a Wednesday afternoon edition of Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Proetti along with Nick Proetti. We do have one confirmed guest joining us here today. We may have 2. We don't know.
Well, if he shows up, it'd be in the next 4 minutes.
Well, the one confirmed guest will be Jay Folds with the Cheyenne Mustangs.
There you go. As we've talked to him plenty of time. I mean, we've talked Cheyenne Mustangs baseball for the past 3 weeks now, because again they're getting in the thick of things. But also too, we did put out the word to Ty Lane, manager of Cheyenne Post 6. So we'll see if he does join us in studio here, or if not, he said, hey, give us a call tomorrow, as he'll be with the Post 6 and also too the Cheyenne Mustangs. They'll be down in Denver, at least the Denver metro area, taking on, or at least competing in the Cherry Creek Classic coming up this weekend. So.
Yeah. Yeah, you make.
Again. No, don't even start with me.
I'm tired, dude.
Don't even.
I don't even want to go there.
I don't want to even hear that one.
You take 8-hour breaks. I'm lucky to get a break.
Your whole life's
Cherry Creek Classic gets underway beginning tomorrow. That will be in Denver. So again, both teams in action. And the question that Nick threw at me earlier today. Well, what happens if both these teams go undefeated? Well, I guess they would play each other in the championship. That would be a nice thing to see. Both the Mustangs against Post 6 for the championship. But a lot of things got to happen for that to.
But again, we'll get all the information at least in the bottom or at least in the top of the second.
Or in the same bracket. We have no idea.
Again, we'll get more information from Jay, or if Ty does show up here in the next 3 minutes. We'll certainly see. So, again, get some baseball talk in today, again, among other things of ECHL action with the Colorado Eagles, also to talk about NBA as well. Again, there's plenty to talk about so far, so looking forward to it. And also, too, we have updated a bit on the social media sides, especially with our video live stream on Periscope and also, too, on YouTube as well, too, at least with YouTube, that is 1480 K-Ray's channel, but on Periscope it is still for the Wyoming Sports Talk Today, as we are in high definition now, so at least no more of the postage stamp, and it was pretty terrible video quality, but we've upgraded, so at least a little high definition now, so again, for the viewing pleasure for yourself, again, on Periscope and also, too, over on YouTube. Again, also, too, if we'll run through the social media sites.
I don't know how many other operations in town do that. I mean, there might be one of the corporate boys. But the corporate boys. But
they don't even do that. They don't care. Again, they're out of New York.
Okay. And
they're touting off that they got, whoever on air here in Cheyenne. But again, it's just pre-recorded nonsense. But again, here we are.
I think there's another operation in town. They are an AM. They do their news talk, and I think they do something like that.
I haven't heard anything about it.
Anyway, but the point is,
I mean, it's pretty much we're at the center. We are the multimedia mecca right here.
And you're actually getting comments from across the nation, so I think that's kind of a neat deal too. That we have,
which we do at least say, hey, if you do have a comment, suggestion, question, again, those are absolutely welcome, as I do have chat for both Periscope and YouTube here in front of me. So again, if you want to participate in today's show or any show, if you have a question for any of our guests, any comments for our guests as well too, feel free, and again, we'll read that. If I do see that, we may read it live on air as well, too. So that is what we kind of recommend here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Again, if you are afraid to call in, which we do have a studio line of 514-1071, area code 307-514-1071. But again, we are multimedia, so again, Periscope, YouTube. If you want to stick online, go right ahead. And again, looking at those chats for both respective sites right here in front of me.
We go to Major League Baseball. A couple of things from last night. First, it was the return of Mad Bum.
Yeah,
not bad.
Not an awful.
No, again, he gave Bruce Bochy 6 strong innings, 8-hitter.
Kind of expect what? Yeah, I guess you would say you come to expect that out of again a returning start for him. Again, not anticipating that he's going to go out and throw a shutout game, but solid. It wasn't awful. It could have been awful.
Yeah, I like the numbers. 2 runs. They were both earned. 8 hits. No walks. That's impressive right there.
Yeah.
3 Ks. And he threw 82 pitches. And again, giving up 2 runs, that's not a bad night's work.
Just no offense.
The offense stunk last night. They ran into Patrick Corbin, who fashioned a 4-hitter through 6 1/3 innings, and then
you can't sell short Patrick Corbin though as well too. As you kind of dog where both teams are kind of when offense is rolling, they can get it done. But also too, again, you're going against 2 quality pitchers there for both the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Giants. So,
but their relief corps is okay. It's not overpowering.
I'd probably take theirs over the Giants.
Well, yeah, the Giants. I mean, it's good they got Melanson back. They got to throw him out there now just to
Who
get
cares?
work.
He's not that great either. Again, we saw that with
Dyson's not that good, and we all know that Hunter Strickland sucks, which he did again last night.
So again, I don't get why you're dogging on the Giants of why they couldn't score runs. Again, if I got to take a bullpen, Diamondbacks over the Giants any day.
Well, I don't know. The team is inconsistent. That's the problem I have with them.
They haven't been. They've been on a win streak. They're
on a 5-game win streak. But again, the offense is inconsistent. It's not one guy can carry on your back. They all have to be hot that night. Posey can't do it anymore by himself. McCutchen and Longoria, they got to be hot together. Hunter Pence, he's just not. He's not the same ball player anymore. Sandoval, he's getting the repetitions now. Panic's been okay since he's come back off the DL, but again, they have not been wowing me offensively like they should be. That's just my opinion.
Again, what do you expect out of them then? Again, answer that question of what do you anticipate? What should they be doing? Again, I don't think
they should be putting up at least 5 runs every game. At least 5 runs
every game.
I think they've got the lineup to do it.
Show me a team that has done that in recent memory that has just averaged that per game. That seems like you're asking a lot. Again, you might might flirt with that with the Dodgers of last year, but still, though, again, tell me
the Rockies should be a team that averaged 5 runs every game.
Yeah, but again, they're not an immortal team. Again, they
again, you look what they bought over in the offseason. Jackson, who has been a bust, in my opinion. What's Jackson hitting? 248.
Okay, you have him as your center fielder, or at least outfield options. Where again,
they use him now as a pinch runner. He's basically relegated.
But it was that or either Denard Span again as he was moving out to Tampa Bay. What are you going to do?
I know
you had to fill that spot. There you go. You don't have anything coming up in the farm system.
McCutchen hitting 250. Longoria hitting about 250 right now. Belt, we know, is recovering from appendicitis.
Yeah.
So,
and again, he's turned it up where, again, you have complained about him, but he's
and I'm glad. I'm glad that he is.
He's basically told you to go shut up.
Crawford hitting 322 this year, but and then Posey hitting 300. But after that, it's it's like it's average.
So that average team that right now sits around 500, that is.
I guess that's where they should be at average.
I'm just saying, again, they sit around at 500, missing pieces, again, trying to get back a healthy Hunter Pence, trying to get back a healthy Shark. Just got a newly healthy Madison Bumgarner, and they're sitting around 500. Sorry, I think they're a little bit above average. It might not show on the record, but again, as a fan, as following this team, it's not bad. It could be a hell of a lot worse for the Giants at this point. Again, as you were saying, you're a ho-hum on the offense. Any other day, they'd probably be sitting well below 500. They'd be at the tail end. They'd probably be on pace of what they were last year at this time. Again, a team that lost 92 games. I think right now of what this team is doing, especially the adversities that is health and all the injuries that they've dealt with, sorry, I think they're meeting above expectations at this point. They're doing a little above average, again, of what they're doing.
I guess I'm just expecting more, and that's just my opinion.
There's nothing wrong with that. Again, it is. Giants have dealt with
I've seen enough dull from the Giants over the last couple of seasons, and they have been dull offensively. Agreed?
I mean, they've been dull since 2010.
Yeah, but the last couple of seasons.
Again, you've complained about Matt Cain's starts where, hey, he's a solid pitcher but can't get any runs.
Yeah.
I remember that for the entire 2010 season. Guess what happened? They still win a championship. So
they also traded towards, they made some good deals in July, and they brought some bats in.
And who says that they're not going to do that?
To go along with their relief corps.
Who says they're not going to do that at all?
Who knows?
Again, I guess Brian Sabean, that whole front office there in San Francisco,
I'm expecting the Giants to put up more offense. Again, Longoria, McCutchen, Jackson, they fit well with the ball club now. They need to start producing a little bit more. That's all. Posey is not your long ball threat anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Belt, he's come out of his shell this year, and when he gets back, and he's going to be rusty too. Having surgery. I got you.
Yeah.
And then again too, you go with our shortstop Crawford, and Crawford's he's playing back to Brandon Crawford status.
All right.
Need panic to get back on track.
Let's
all right, we're going to take a time out. We're going to come back. We're going to have our first guest join us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today after these words.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Good game, boys. You showed some real fight. Like when Wachowski put that hit on our own mascot. Solid work, son. Okay, Friday was for football, but Tuesday is for tacos. Taco Tuesday at Taco John's. It's a sacred holiday where we eat tacos repeatedly until I get full.
Save big every Taco Tuesday with crispy beef tacos for just 99 cents.
Get some rest, boys, because come Taco Tuesday, we olay the day.
Olay the Day at Taco John's.
John Mason here for Lincoln Way Liquor. I want to thank Cheyenne for helping us grow during our first year of business. We have over 5,000 new customers in our database in just 13 months. Our customers love our low prices, free ice, 2% credit for future purchases, and some really friendly service. And we always have 16 weekly specials on beer, wine, and liquor. We ask you to compare Lincoln Way Liquor, 2825 East Lincoln Way. We're not the largest, but we might just be the best.
Are you thinking about purchasing a home? Then Platte Valley Bank can help. With Platte Valley Bank, you can count on local decisions and expect to work with an experienced staff to design a loan to fit your needs. Just log on to pvbank.com and fill out our online application. We have money to lend, and at Platte Valley Bank, we are in the business of fulfilling dreams, enriching lives, and building our community one loan at a time.
All loans subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply. Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The time is now, and the place to go is Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service for their annual model clearance sale of Jayco RVs and fifth wheels. This is your year to travel the countryside, and what better way with your Jayco RV from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. And to put you on the road today, save 30% on their annual model clearance. Their savings are always the best on whatever model you select. Come see and take home your favorite today when you buy from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service at 6102 East Highway 30 in Cheyenne, or go online to jollyrogersrvs.com.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 78. And for tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with a slight chance of rain with lows around 52. On Thursday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 83. And on Thursday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 52.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
Well, right now it's time to talk post 6 baseball. We got the Sixers skipper in with us. Ooh, you like that? I may be able to do broadcast of baseball one day. Anyway, we have Ty Lane in, who is the manager of the Sixers, and we haven't talked to Ty in a while. I guess we'll come right out of the box, Ty. Graduations are all done. I know some guys have part-time jobs or jobs because they will be going off to school and stuff, but right now you should pretty much have a ball club without too many distractions as you head into a lot of tournament action now.
Yeah, it's been a busy spring for our guys. We've had a lot of different things going on, but with graduation done and moving forward here, the weather's turning into summer now, and I think our guys are pretty excited. We've got a heavy schedule of tournament play coming up for the month of June, so we're excited about that and see what kind of run we can make in a couple of these.
I was going to say nothing better, but again, a busy schedule is full of baseball as well. Again, you've already been quite busy, though, since the last time we talked to you. Again, right now having 26 games on your belt, just played a contest down in Greeley yesterday with another victory, but again, 26-0 on the season right now. As a manager, as a head coach of this team, you got to be pretty happy of where your team's at at this point in time in the season.
Right. Yeah, we're 20-6. We've lost some games to Rapid City. That's one opponent we've lost to, and we lost a game to Casper early. But we're on a 8-game winning streak right now. We're playing really well. I think we had 7 consecutive games where we gave up 1 run or less. So our pitching staff and our defense is locked in and playing good baseball. And, last night our offense broke out a little bit, and if that starts to come along the way that we think that it will, we're going to be a pretty tough team to beat.
Well, I'm going to go on the side of the pitching staff because, I always like to follow how many innings they're doing, and they're fashioning 1, 2, 3 hitters, whatever the case may be. But you are getting some really good, solid efforts out of your starters right now.
Yeah, absolutely. We're deep, man. Our pitching staff is deep. We've got a lot of guys that are experienced and know how to do it, and a lot of young guys that are learning from some of these older guys and throwing just really quality innings. We preach get ahead and get the ball coming out to your defense as much as possible, and with the defense that we have, the athletes that are on the field, it's a pretty simple recipe. Get the ball in play, and these guys are going to make plays for you, and they're doing a great job of that so far.
Are you going pitch count with most of these guys, or are you saying, hey, let's if you feel it, let's do the distance?
We do have to follow pitch smart rules. We talked about that a little bit, but for the most part, we haven't pushed anybody past 90 pitches, and that's the luxury of having a quality staff and several different guys that are throwing the ball really well. Is you don't have to rely so much on one guy, and that's just kind of the trend that's in baseball right now. Is just use your bullpen and get as many different guys work and get the right amount of rest and try to keep everyone healthy. And for us, if we can have a healthy and clean staff going into the back end of this thing, I think will be tough to beat.
Don't want to cut you off, but again, talk about this past weekend as you were finally back at home. It seems like with the post 6 with your team, you're just constantly on the road all the time, right, but at least got to enjoy a little bit of a weekend homestand where you did face off against Gillette. I do believe that contest was on Friday. Got to see at least one of those contests, but again, just what was it kind of feel being back at home, playing at Powers Field, getting victories as well too this past weekend? Certainly possibly a potential at least boost of morale heading into this Cherry Creek Classic coming up?
Yeah, absolutely. It's always good to be at home, especially when you're playing a rival. Gillette has been tough, and they've been a great program over the last 10 years or so. So, they're always fun to play against, and our guys came out excited and ready to go. And we got a couple hard-fought wins there. And then, you beat Rocky Mountain High School, a team that's been in the state title game in Colorado 8 of the last 11 years. And so they have a great program there, and we played really well against them also. So it was a good weekend for us. Played the Gojos on the road, back on the road, so this week, and started to really swing the bats that day. So I think our guys are feeling pretty good about where we're at, and you know, we're just excited to get to June and get to the top tier level of competition and get a feel for where we really fit in.
And it sounds like you're going to see a little bit of that top tier competition coming up this weekend, as you got a lengthy kind of stand down there in Colorado, especially where the likes is. I look at your schedule coming up Thursday, set game against the NOCO Roughnecks, Friday against the Loveland Aces, Friday as well, Slammers, Givens, and then also to Saturday and Sunday opponents to be determined. But it sounds like you're going to see that top level opponents coming up this weekend.
Yeah, you know, you never know 100% what your pool play is going to be like, and you get a different pool every year, and you know, you never know what Slammers team you're going to get. There's all kinds of different Slammers teams out there too. So you know, the goal for us is to try to win our pool. If you do win your pool in this tournament, you for sure are going to see some top-level competition.
Well, this is also going to be a tough tournament on you. But, again, you know, you've got the bodies in place now because you're going to go through a lot of arms, and this is what you need in these type of 5-day tournaments.
Exactly. We've been trying to develop as many of our arms as we possibly can. And, you know, I told our guys – this is the point now in the schedule where, you know, we're not just trying to provide guys opportunities, but we're going to need every guy to carry the water as far as they can take it in order to get through the amount of games that we're going to have coming up and the competition that we've got coming up. So, you know, we tell our guys one pitch at a time, pick up the water bucket, carry it as far as you can, and hand it off to the next guy. And I think our guys are ready to do that.
You know, have you set your pitching staff similar to the majors? You've got your starters, you've got your setup guys, you've got a closer. I mean, are you into that position yet with your pitching staff?
We are pretty close. There's still some movement a little bit here and there. We're still trying to make sure we have it right. So things can fluctuate a little bit, but we do have a pretty good idea of who our starting guys are going to be, where we want to go to try to close out a ball game, and who's going to eat innings in between our starter and our closer. So we've got a good feel, and guys are settling into roles and performing very well.
Nice article in the paper today for Max Pedroza, your backstop.
Right.
And again, too, one of the things, you know, you're going to have to obviously not have him go the distance in all those games during the tournament. But one of the nice things is you've got somebody now that you can lean on in the clutch who's going to call the game. But, you know, there's also a picture of him taking a look at you guys in the dugout, too. So are most of the pitches called by the pitching coaches?
Well, so Jade is our pitching coach, and he's been doing it for 20 years, and he does an unbelievable job. But the way that we run it is Jade calls a pitch, and they have 100% freedom to shake and make a different decision if they want to. We want the guy to throw the pitch that he has the most conviction with. So if he believes in what he's going to throw, it's a better pitch than whatever you want him to throw if he doesn't believe in it, is our philosophy. So he's got 100% ability to shake on it, but Jader gives him what he believes is going to be the best thing to work, and then we roll from it.
Is there a pitch that you have has Jade taught the kids a pitch, or they pretty much come in with their usual fastball, slider, curveball, maybe a changeup? I mean, has Jade taught them anything that he has learned, you know, in all the years that he's been there with both Pops and you?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. He helps refine what they have for the most part, and the thing that Jade does, I think, better than anyone is teach guys the importance of fastball location and how to do it and throw the ball where you want to, be able to work in and out, up and down, be able to use 4 quadrants of the strike zone with that pitch and then pitch off of it. And, you know, then when it comes to off-speed pitches, he's taught guys new pitches. You know, something we stole from Eaton, Colorado is the knuckle curveball. That's a Jim Danley special, and he was a great head coach for a long time and created some great pitchers. And it's an interesting pitch, but Jade has that in his arsenal. So if we have a guy who's struggling with a breaking ball, you know, we might break out the knuckle curve and try to get him to learn that. But really it comes down to the individual guy, what he has feel for, and then Jade works to refine that.
Very successful program down there in Eaton.
That's
for
right.
many years. Go ahead.
26 games in so far in the season for you as a manager of this team. So far, positives that you've seen, at least out of the post-6, and also to some things that you've noticed that maybe the Sixers need to work on a bit to at least kind of advance into, again, these top-level tournaments as we're getting into the thick of it right now in baseball season.
Yeah, you know, I think we've hit on probably our biggest positive so far is the pitching staff and the depth that we have with so many different guys that have good velocity, can throw the ball where they want to. We're very young. I think our baseball IQ can improve a lot, and I think it has over the first 26 games, and we're getting to understand different situations and how to handle every moment that's thrown at us. And offensively, we've had our ups and downs. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster there offensively. We've had great days and we've had poor days. So I think that will start to become more of an even keel as we start to see this varsity level of pitching and get comfortable with that. So I've been very proud of the way we've pitched it, the way we've defended it, and I think our offense is going to come. It's going to be there as we get through this, and I think our baseball IQ and understanding situations is improving and will keep improving.
Just kind of poke elbows with Rick Thompson over the Mustangs, like, hey, you guys are scoring too much runs. Just send it our way. We need something.
Well, let me ask you this question though, too. On your team, the guys that are your power hitters, the guys that are going to be your placement hitters, your guys that are going to, get on base any way, shape, or form. Is that a problem even with the younger guys? Maybe they get that one big shot and they think they can pop it out of the park all the time, and maybe they're trying to go for the fences, especially, Powers Field. Ball carries well here in Cheyenne.
Absolutely, man. I think that is a thing with every young kid. It doesn't matter if he's 5'10", 120 pounds. Sometimes your eyes light up and you want to get big, and so you got to have guys kind of settle into roles. Braxton, we've been really lucky to have Braxton Innes, who's led off for us for the last 4 years. Just a veteran guy that knows how to handle the leadoff spot, not try to do too much, but find his way on base. On base percentage is huge. We've had different guys try to learn their role, settle into it, and I think once we do that, the offense is going to come along as we go.
What about the tournament at Cherry Creek? Is this wood bat or is it metal?
It is wood, yeah.
So again, now is there that mentality now? I can't hit with my big Easton. I got to go now to a wood bat. Again, do the guys pretty much have a good feel for wood right now?
I think so. We've played a couple games with wood here in the last week or so, just trying to work towards that because, Creek is going to be wood, Pueblo will be wood. We'll go metal in Omaha, and then we'll come back to Denver and be wood again. So we're gonna have a wood bat in our hands quite a bit over the month of June, and I think that's a good thing as far as approach, like you're talking about. Settling into your role, and now we're gonna have to rely a little bit more on small game of bunting and being able to hit behind runners and hit and run and execute your at bats correctly, and that's where the results offensively will come. And I think our guys we'll get to learn that lesson having the wood bat in there.
What's your opinion on, at least again, kind of that mixture of you go from metal to wood, and again, determining on what tournament or what opponent that you are facing against. But your opinion on that is, do you like that kind of system of, hey, let's get the kids have that feel between the both, or would you just say, hey, I'd rather have one and not the other, of saying I prefer wood and just keep it like that the entire season? Just kind of what are your thoughts?
Well, that it used to be pretty drastic between metal and wood until they went to the BB Core bat. And so with the BB Core bat, to me, honestly, there is some difference, but I think it's pretty darn similar, metal and wood, results-wise. If you get the ball in the barrel with the BB Core, you get the ball in the barrel with the wood, it's going to do close to the same thing. So it's not quite as drastic as it has been in the past. But I do really like the mental side of it. You got a wood bat in your hands. Now I have to execute my at bat. That's how I can be successful in this plate appearance, and I think that's really good for team offense and trying to get our guys rolling in the right direction.
The thing is here, and it's unfortunate in our town. I mean, go to sporting goods store, not a lot of selections.
Right. Is there a sporting goods store in this town?
Well, no, and again, and I feel bad too because when I get my bats, I'll either buy it through Dovetail, which is part of the major leagues, or you look over here, Mariucci. My point being though, you as a head coach, bat companies, do they approach you knowing the success of the program with the Sixers and again with you and your dad before, but also to all these tournaments that you're going to be going to? Do you see a lot of bat companies that come up to you and say, hey, for your team, I've got this for you?
Yeah, absolutely. We've had several reach out to us, and it happens probably more with the wood bat, honestly, because we do wood bat all fall long, and I just so happen to play with a couple guys whose dads own bat companies and things like that. So some of those former contacts reach out and say, hey, we got some good stuff. But, It just kind of depends on the year and who it is, but we do get that every now and then, yeah.
You know, and I notice this when I go to Phoenix. And now, last year when I was there for the anniversary of the World Series for us old guys, it was Mariucci was the main bat sponsor, but I noticed off on the side by Tepe Diablo they had a couple of other bat companies. My question is to you, when you go to these, like Cherry Creek, this is going to be a big tournament. Mm-hmm. Do you see bat, spikes, pants? Do you see the whole 9 yards of sponsorships out there?
Absolutely, man. And they're all over the place, and they've got the setups that you're talking about that you saw in Phoenix. I know a big one that's been out there recently is the Hague Bat Company. They're starting to blow up a little bit, and we've got a couple fungos from them, but they do a great job of figuring out where are all these players going to be at and how do we get there and get our stuff there.
Anything else you'd like to add, Nick?
We should probably take a time out.
Let's take a time out. We are talking with Sixers head coach Ty Lane. We're back after these words right here on 1480 K-Ray.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
At Medicap Pharmacy, we concentrate on nothing but your medications and your health. Each location is a locally owned, full-service neighborhood pharmacy. We won't make you walk through aisles and aisles of stuff or wait in a long line. Instead, we'll always make time for you by listening, answering your questions, and explaining your prescriptions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
It is, again, our pleasure talking with Sixer skipper Ty Lane. Ty, you know, former alumni who now is in the show and doing very well. And I'm glad that he's getting the opportunity to play with the Mets, even though the Mets are, you know, they're hovering around the Mendoza line.
As much as we think he's not even going to be with the Mets anymore.
Well, we don't know. He might be dangled, but then again, too, I don't know. I mean, he might get the dollars from the Mets. But, again, from the Cheyenne Sixers standpoint, you have to be very proud of the job that Brandon's doing for our city.
Yeah, we're so proud of him, man. He's been unbelievable. And the thing about that guy's the same thing we try to teach our guys here is he's so even-keeled. Doesn't matter what situation he's thrown in, if he's starting every day, if he's coming off the bench. The guy just takes a professional at bat every time he comes to the plate. And had a heck of a week last week, got real hot, and we're just proud and excited and enjoying getting to watch him play.
He's really sensational on the defensive side, too. He gets good. I'm impressed at the jumps that he gets on the ball.
You know, he made that diving play the other day to take a hit away from Christian Yelich, and I think they said there was an 18% catch probability on that play, and, you know, just went and took a triple away from him. And he doesn't get a lot of recognition for his defense, but he's been playing at a very high level.
And unfortunately, too, we don't get a lot of recognition up here. The draft was just held,
right.
And I'm sure no phones rang up in this part of the world. And it's a shame, too, because, again, a lot of talent on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk with A.J. Folds. And, of course, you have a lot of talent. A little disappointing, though, that and I know there's scouts up and down. I know a couple of them that live in the Denver area. Are you disappointed a little bit that we don't get that recognition, especially with all the success that the Sixers have had?
Yeah, and you hope that Brandon helps to kind of break down some of those barriers for us. I think we've got some very talented kids in Cheyenne. And, you'd hope that you'd get a little bit more recognition than what we've got. But, we're going to get into these tournaments. We're going to play in front of the guys that we need to play in front of for things like that to happen. And we just need the chips to fall in the right place, kind of the way that they did for Brandon.
We asked this question at least with Markel and Terrence Dent of the Wyoming Bees, so going on the basketball route. But for you, again, we kind of asked of, you got Wyoming written across your chest. For you guys, obviously Cheyenne, or at least being out of the state of Wyoming, again, going down to these tournaments, whether it is Nebraska or in Colorado or wherever you guys travel to, is that something you kind of go with as we're talking with draft, again, not getting a whole lot of respect? Is it a situation where you do have that chip on your shoulder going, oh, these teams probably think we're a joke. We're from Wyoming. They might think, oh, they play baseball up in Wyoming, go figure. But is that something where you and also to at least your young men just kind of take on and go, let's prove them. Let's prove them wrong. Let's show what we do up here in Cheyenne.
Right. I definitely think that our guys carry a chip on their shoulder everywhere they go. Absolutely. And we used to get that a lot more. I think my dad Tag Lane did a great job with this program for such a long time that our reputation has at least spread into northern Colorado a little bit. So our guys carry the chip. Not every day do they need it, but they do have it there. And we're going to go to Omaha and some other places, and you go right back to the old days where, okay, they're playing a Wyoming team. So we carry that with us wherever we go. We want to represent Cheyenne, and we want to represent Wyoming baseball professionally and at a high level.
You also have one kid on the team from Otero Junior College. Yep. And, again, this is also a showcase tournament for maybe some JUCOs, possibly D1s. And, again, I know either your phone rings or one of the kids will be contacted by whoever, a lot of these seniors right now that are looking to play. And you've got a lot of kids capable of going on to that next level.
Yeah, it has been all day long for me today. It's just been one after the other of people trying to figure out where we're going to be and who they need to come watch and see. I think we have – all our seniors are signed and done. Our junior class is I think, just a special class. It's one of the best classes we've had in a long time. And so there's a lot of guys that are juniors that need to find places to play, and I think we have several that could play at a high level.
It's sad for us up here, and I would hope you agree too, because I know when I'm done in Phoenix in November, I go into a funk for about 4 months. Right. And again,
well, that's because it's winter.
Well, yeah, and it's cold here too. But it's you either go to the weight room or whatever the case, or like you got a tennis ball and we're throwing it against the wall.
Right.
But for our guys, it's a different story. How do we keep these guys? Again, they want to play at the next level. They want to be the next Brandon Nimmo. How do we keep these guys from, just saying, all right, we're all done with the fall league. What do I do next? I know they're involved in football. I know they're involved in basketball. But really, they got to stay fresh for baseball. How do you keep them fresh?
Well, we're lucky that we have a nice indoor facility with turf and mounds and cages and a weight room attached to it. So we'll play all the way into November, and we'll go to Phoenix. That's our last trip in Phoenix in November. We'll get the guys home, and we try to take a little bit of time off for the arm, a couple months. But we do have the ability to get our weights program rolling, which we start right away in November. And then we try to keep our offense intact and in shape every day. We work out 5 days a week from November all the way through until we start in March again. And so, we highly recommend our guys to play other sports and be involved in as many things as they can. And then whenever they have their free time, we're hoping to get them in and working on the game of baseball.
I want to go with you, at least on a psychology standpoint, going back to the recruiting process, Oregon. As you said, hey, you've been busy of answering calls and kind of talking with scouts and getting players all set up. But for you as a head coach, again, being around these players, seeing them from, developing at young ages to, hey, now you're moving off to a 4-year JUCO, wherever it may be. But for you as a coach, being amongst these players for so long in their lives, what does that mean to you as a coach, just seeing that they're moving on to the next level?
It's special, man. That's the reason that I do this is we get to some of these kids. I've known them since they were 10, 11, 12 years old. And just to get to see them grow up, become young men, try to help mold them into being a young man, and finding a place for them to play and grow as a baseball player and as a person. And, I think we have some really nice places that are going to come watch us play this weekend. So, hopefully we can find the right fit. And it's just special to see the guy sign, see a guy graduate and move on and know that he's prepared well for whatever's next in his life.
And again, to be a post-sixer, you have to be a very special baseball player. And again, we have leagues here, CJL, cross street over at Dutcher. How much baseball do you absorb watching the younger kids? And again, I not that you're handing out invitations, but bottom line is you're also looking ahead towards the future as well. How many of those type of games do you catch throughout the year?
I try to get out to as much as I can. My dad is coaching one of our 13-year-old teams right now, and so I've been out there a few times looking at some of those guys. And we get a lot of guys that come through our indoor facility and work out there too. So I try to stay in touch and see as many players as we can possibly see. And, the main thing for kids that age is find out which ones are enjoying playing the game of baseball. And that's a pretty good sign that kid's could end up being a pretty good player. Just having fun, being active, and enjoying what he's doing.
So you got Pops on at least coaching the younger teams. Right. Has he offered yet to, hey, Ty, you want to come, freshman basketball over at Central at all? Have you gotten that offer yet?
I don't know about that. I don't think that.
How good is your jumper?
It's not good anymore. I know that. It was decent, but not great.
Let's look at what Post 6 also offers to this community. I know you put on, correct me if I'm wrong, it's at the end of the season that you put on a camp for young players. Is that also a time for you to, and again, I know there are a variety of ages, but is that also a time for you to take a look too, and and kind of write a note saying, this 14-year-old, I think he's going to be something special. I mean, is that something where you get a chance, in addition to do the camp, also keep an eye on the future?
I think we're always got one eye on the future for sure. We do a kids camp at the end of June, at the very last week of June, and the main thing is to just get them out there and try to teach them something that they can take home with them, try to make them a better baseball player, and then have fun. Spend a day on Powers Field, which is awesome for younger kids, and just let them enjoy the game. Baseball is a great game, and we want as many kids to fall in love with it as we can possibly find. So that's kind of what we're doing there.
With baseball, we also have our state tournament.
Right.
And again, not poo-pooing with all these other tournaments, but again, this kind of gets you ready. And again, you have been playing the Gillettes, the Caspers, the Laramies. I don't know how much of the Western teams you've played, but we all get together, and then the bottom line is win the state, you move on to the regionals, and again, regionals from there, you move on to the World Series, where our bugaboo has been the regionals. But
right.
This year could be, and again, we will say that every year, but this year could be because you're loaded with pitchers this year. So you have to feel real good, and if we can keep the injury bug away from this ball club, potential really looks good from your standpoint.
I think our guys are excited about the opportunity. I know that, like you said, playing with a chip on your shoulder, and you want to really make a name for Cheyenne, Wyoming baseball. Let's send a Wyoming team to the World Series and represent our state at Shelby, North Carolina. And I think this is a good group of guys that has a long way to go, but the potential is there for like you said, our pitching staff is deep enough to make a run at that thing, no doubt in my mind. So we're excited. We're just going to keep working one day at a time and see where we can finish up.
You mentioned, let me finish up. You mentioned that you've got 26 games to date.
Right.
We're here in the early part of June. Approximately how many games, when it's all said and done? Let's just say you go to regional and you get the 3 games in at regional. How many games will you end up playing throughout the course of the season?
If we win our state tournament and make a little bit of run at the regional, we'll be around 75 games or so.
Squeezed in all in about 3-4 months, 3.5 months. Huh?
Exactly.
That's impressive for a bunch of young men. Go
That's
ahead.
not too bad.
If we're not playing baseball at all during the high school season as well.
Absolutely. As you mentioned, kind of with the injury bug, again, knock on wood for your team, but is that a situation where, again, you do have the younger kind of teams established within the post-6 kind of family? Is that something where if we do run into where we need bodies, you kind of look down to the 16 and under, or as far down you go, yes, we need you desperately. Do you have that option to do that for at least?
You still have the Hawks program as well,
we do,
right?
Yeah. So we have the Hawks, a freshman team and an 8th grade team, and so the only problem is your roster has to be set by June 15th, middle of June. So if something were to happen after that point, then you're just rolling with the guys that you got. Luckily, they let you roster 18 guys, which is a solid number. You can lose 1 or 2. Hopefully we don't. But you can and still get through that number of games. But, yeah, up until we make our roster decision in the middle of June, we're still looking up and down the program to make sure we got the right guys.
Going on the road, especially, and I look at this Cherry Creek tournament, boy, this just has to make your ball club just that much more solid. And again, whether you win 3 games, whether you win the whole tournament, it don't matter. The point is just playing on the road and playing probably in more of a more enemy confines than anywhere else you're going to play. This has to really make this team a lot more solid.
Absolutely, man. And that's what the month of June is about for our program is just get hardened a little bit and be thrown into as many tough situations as you can, and learn how to react to any different thing that can be thrown at you. So good competition. We'll be on the road a lot. We're going to try to take advantage of any time we can sleep in our own bed and do the driving necessary to get there and toughen our guys up a little bit and see if we can handle that.
Final thought before we let you go, and I know we got to get into a break here, and we're going to say thank you, Ty Lane, for joining us here, skipper of the Post Sixers. Tell us a little bit of practice. What you guys get together for a couple of hours? I'm going to venture to say, do you get to this time of year where you're doing simulated games, or is there still fundamentals that you work on? Give us a day at practice.
Yeah, so there's definitely certain things that we're going to do every single day, and that's just part of baseball. It's the monotonous, the grind of playing this game is you got to do the little things every single day. Depending on what our week looks like, practices could change, but we have played a few simulated games. We had a weekend off back over Memorial Day where we played some simulated stuff. And then this week is a lot lighter. It's a lot of ground ball, fly ball work. Just clean up your defensive work, throw your bullpens, try to stay out of the heat and stay fresh and ready to go for the next day. So that's kind of what today will look like for us. And just depending on where we're at, it could change either way. So.
Final question for me, at least, again, as we asked Adam Galicia regarding yesterday, the Women's College World Series, which did wrap up yesterday with Florida State winning the national championship. Now I'm going to ask you, Ty, on the men's side, who you got? We are in the Super Regionals. We got, Washington and CSU Fullerton. Sorry, no Stanford for you. Florida, Auburn, Texas Tech, Duke, Vanderbilt, Mississippi, just to name a few. Again, who are you picking, Ty? Again, I need to, I got some money laying around.
We were lucky enough to see Oregon State play in the CWS last year, and they returned a staff that's pretty impressive. So I would like Oregon State. I also like Texas. Roger Clemens' son's been going off over the last few weeks. You got that guy on your team, you got a shot to win every game you play. So I don't know. I'm stuck in between. I would go with one of those two teams for sure.
I'd go with the team with the pitching. Pitching wins pennants.
That's right, man.
So Oregon State versus Minnesota. They're both 1 seeds, and then that Texas series, they are going to take on Tennessee Tech. and they're super regionals.
Gosh, I remember when Minnesota had both Winfield and Molitor. Whoa, they were a tough outfit back in the day. But then again, I'm 110 years old. Ty, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck in the tournament and continued success with the Sixers program. And we'll hopefully catch up with you again before the season ends.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Ty Lane joining us here on 1480 K-Ray. We're going to be back. We'll take a time out. We got more after these words. As Cheyenne's weather turns warmer, dust and pollen can become a problem for those with allergies, asthma, or respiratory issues. And the last thing you want in the summer heat is poor air quality in your home or office. So it's time to turn to Marv's Plumbing and Heating. That's right, Cheyenne's most trusted plumbing, sewer, and heating business also services air conditioning. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, can handle all your air conditioning needs. Give them a call, 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
For 56 years, 1480 K-Ray has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Also with KYY FM, we are Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM/FM combo radio stations. Add that to the addition of 3 FM radio translators to serve the area with programming from both K-Ray and KYY, and that equals a lot of bang for your local advertising dollar. Radio, yesterday and today, still works. For more information, contact Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast, only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range. According to the latest Rate Watch report, First Year Bank offers the highest annual percentage yield in the Cheyenne market for 12, 18, 24, 36, 48, and 60-month CDs. Their friendly staff is ready to answer any questions and help you open or renew your certificate of deposit. Give Carol, Caitlin, or Deb a call today at 307-632-3500. First Tier Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
John Mason here for Lincoln Way Liquor. I want to thank Cheyenne for helping us grow during our first year of business. We have over 5,000 new customers in our database in just 13 months. Our customers love our low prices, free ice, 2% credit for future purchases, and some really friendly service. And we always have 16 weekly specials on beer, wine, and liquor. We ask you to compare Lincoln Way Liquor, 2825 East Lincoln Way. We're not the largest, but we might just be the best.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
Wow, it's hot enough out there to fry chicken. Summer's coming, so now's the time to find ways to beat the heat, and Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, is the best place to go to get cool. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, which provides complete air conditioning, installation, inspection, and repair services, is offering its air conditioning inspections for just $98. So beat the heat right now by calling Marv's Plumbing and Heating today at 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
It is hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Get a little more baseball inside our blood here coming up in a bit. We do want to remind you that our program is being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne. Plenty of locations to load up on potato olays. Or you can get a 6-pack of a pound for tonight.
I think they offer like sweets as well too. Again, donut bites or
those are good.
It's Mexican donut bites. That's what it is.
Everything's good at Taco John's, even their Taco Tuesdays.
They even have like a thing with Cheetos. Like you can get spicy Cheetos on a nacho platter or something.
Well, again, you might want to try the loaded potato Lays as well too. Also,
I think that's what it is, but it comes with like Cheetos.
All right, we also want to thank Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service on Highway 30, Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range, right across from Menards, where you can get breakfast now 6 days a week. Yes, and go to CheyenneChicken.com. They do some wonderful cater-outs. So, again,
we've had it.
Yeah, whether it's an office get-together, maybe you're going to do an old-fashioned picnic out at Holiday Park, have Chick-fil-A do the catering.
You know what
for
to do for at least tomorrow or next week. Chicken nuggets, let's see, a fruit plate.
I got
Get
you.
on it.
All right, Key of Cheyenne, also one of our great sponsors as well over on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank ×2, the northern location, Vanda High, the eastern location at the corner of College and Pershing. We also want to thank Medicat Pharmacy, Bluegrass Circle, same location as always, right next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body with 2 locations, founded by my good friend Dick Lennox, and the tradition continues on by my good friend Heather Lennox and her great staff. Lennox Auto Body ×2, Main Repair Center, Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center on Pershing Boulevard. The key people of Cheyenne, they'll come on by and clean it so you don't have to. Give Rachel a call, please. 414-0074. She'll come on by and give you a free estimate. First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Again, you want to talk to them right now about CD rates and get a plan put in place. Mondello's Pizzeria, you want to put some, delicious pizza pie in your tum-tum, because I'm telling you what, Joe makes the best pizza around at Mondello's Pizzeria 7 days a week. 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. We also want to thank the Wyoming Montana Safety Council, Marv's Plumbing Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue. Grab a cool one on the way home from Lincoln Way Liquors at 2825
Just
East
don't
Lincoln
drink
Way.
it on the way home.
No. I say grab one. That's what I said. And
I'm just saying, as a disclaimer, don't drink it.
And keep the cap unpopped. All right. And again, go to Lincoln Way Liquors at 2825 East Lincoln Way. And our scoreboard is brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
Hockey action for tonight in ECHL with the Kelly Cup final between the Colorado Eagles and Florida Everblades. It is Game 6 tonight, as Florida does have the 3-2 series lead in that one, so it is a must-win for the Eagles tonight. It is their final home game in ECHL action for this season. That game will get underway at the Budweiser Event Center starting tonight at 7:05 p.m. Baseball action from yesterday, the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers, they were in action down in Greeley, taking on the Greeley Gojos. They got a 15-3 victory and now are sitting 26-0 on the season. That's what's happening regionally on hockey and baseball action.
Speaking of Major League Baseball, in the top of the 8th inning, after having some, explosive nights, Padres on Monday, Bravos last night, they've kind of calmed down. They moved to the top of the 8th inning, and the Padres at Petco leading 2-1. Top of the 7th inning in San Francisco at AT&T on Getaway Day, it's the Diamondbacks leading the Giants 4-2. Finals that are in. The Nats, they put a can of whoop booty on Tampa Bay Rays today, 11-2. It was the Brew Crew losing to the Indians at Progressive Field 3-1. The Mets are shut out by the Orioles 1-0. Games getting underway when we step on out of here. Dodgers at the Pirates, Yanks and the Blue Jays. That will be in the Rogers Center. Motor City Kitties of Detroit and the Red Sox at Fenway. Rocks and the Reds tonight. That'll be at Great American Ballpark. John Gray will get the call for the Rockies as he'll toe the rubber against Sal Romano for Cincinnati. Athletics and the Rangers in Arlington at the ballpark. It will be the Phils and the Cubs at Wrigley. White Sox and Twins again at Target Field. M's and the Astros at Minute Maid. Marlins and the Cardinals will battle at Busch. And at Angel Stadium of Anaheim, it'll be the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. They will be hosting the Kansas City Royals. NBA for tonight, it is Game 3 at the Quicken Loans Arena, 7 o'clock Mountain Time, tap time. Game 3 between the Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers for all of the marbles, the NBA championship. Golden State so far leading that series 2-0. A lot of folks over there in Oakland celebrating this past weekend saying, hey, you know what, it's not coming back, so hopefully the Warriors can take care of business for Games 3 and 4.
It's pretty ominous when they bring a gigantic L in the Q Arena, at least for today's game. Again, that L is, who knows who brought it in, but it can only be a potential sign.
Well, it's the land versus
I'm just saying it's an L going into Cleveland. So,
well, we'll see. And hopefully Andre Iguodala will be back in the fold.
I'm just saying, folks owe our allegiance. So,
yeah. All right, our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
John Mason here for Lincoln Way Liquor. I want to thank Cheyenne for helping us grow during our first year of business. We have over 5,000 new customers in our database in just 13 months. Our customers love our low prices, free ice, 2% credit for future purchases, and some really friendly service. And we always have 16 weekly specials on beer, wine, and liquor. We ask you to compare Lincoln Way Liquor, 2825 East Lincoln Way. We're not the largest, but we might just be the best.
The time is now, and the place to go is Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service for their annual model clearance sale of Jayco RVs and fifth wheels. This is your year to travel the countryside, and what better way with your Jayco RV from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. And to put you on the road today, save 30% on their annual model clearance. Their savings are always the best on whatever model you select. Come see and take home your favorite today when you buy from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service at 6102 East Highway 30 in Cheyenne, or go online to jollyrogersrvs.com. Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 78. And for tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with a slight chance of rain with lows around 52. On Thursday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 83. And on Thursday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 52.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
All right, it's Coach's Day here on 1480 K-Ray. It's usually like on Wednesdays we had it reserved back in the day for LCCC Coaches Show. Well, we get to talk baseball.
Ironically, we did have Brian Ortmeyer joining us on the Periscope chat. So
well, that's good. Tell him we said hello.
Well, I think we just did, as you.
Yeah. Well, I can't see it. See, I only can look at the camera.
Anyways.
Also, we had most recently on here Ty Lane, the Sixers skipper. Now we got Jay Foltz in from the Cheyenne Mustangs. And again, the Mustangs still playing top-notch baseball. We had that opportunity last week to watch a unbelievable inning where 22 or 23 runs going across the board.
We only saw 14 of them.
Yeah, and we had to leave.
Yeah, eventually we had to come back and do the show. But, yeah, we got to see a good amount of them. Little did we know there was even more to come.
Jay, let me start off with that right there, and then we'll talk about playing out at Pioneer Park as well. But talking in a game like that where it gets out of hand, and I know even us old guys, we get to about 10 runs, we kind of pull back the reins a little bit, go station to station. What is the what is the protocol for you guys when you get to that type of situation? Because you knew it was getting out of hand.
Yeah, interesting enough you asked me about that game, and that's actually a game that I missed. It's the only game I missed all season. First, thanks for having me back. It's an absolute honor to be here, so appreciate you guys giving us the opportunity to do this. But do we sort of pull back against these teams? We do. There is a point where we do. Obviously, when you start thumping a team as well as we was thumping a team that day, you start to play station-to-station baseball. And by the way, I appreciate that phrase because you don't want to run up the score, but at the same time, you found yourself in a situation where you had a tight ball game. I think we were the first 2 or 3 innings.
It was scoreless, and it looked great. And then you just had that one breakout inning, that Mustang. It's kind of Mustang baseball. You just have that explosive inning.
And in the back of your mind, I don't care who you are as a baseball player, you have that they can turn around and do the very same thing to us. So where do you draw the line and start to pull back? And you do, but it's a gut feel for the game.
Yeah. Well, also too, and again, these are young men like our kids are, and you don't want to sit there and embarrass them. They're out trying to do their job, and games like this happen. It doesn't happen all the time, but when they do, you try to be courteous about. You're glad to win, but you're also I don't want to just ram it down your throat either.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, other things that you can do if you pull back too much, you're going to actually embarrass them even more. For instance, if I've got a pass ball that gets all the way to the backstop, you're not going to stand on first base or second base or third base and not run. You're going to advance to the next base because it's the right thing to do. And if you actually stand there, then that really is more offensive in my opinion than anything else.
Well, and you look back on that game, and Nick made a good point. It was one of those typical innings that you and Coach Thompson are waiting for the Mustangs to just explode, and everything just seemed to be at the right time. The big hits came at the right time. Good eyes, and allowing them to get on base with the free pass. It was just one of those games where you could see that inning just develop into something very special.
And we've done that a lot this year. We've put up a lot of runs throughout the course of the season. We'll have some dry spells, but they're small dry spells. And once we start swinging the bat, we start swinging the bat very well as a team from top to bottom. So we've put up a lot of runs this year as a consequence.
Also, let me finish. Also, too, in that particular game, like you said, you missed, and there was also a few of the kids that missed as well, too, because last week of school, again, we do have those at work as well, too. But not a lot of roster maneuvering you can do in a game like that, and Coach Thompson pulled it off.
Yep, and we were playing kids that weren't getting a whole lot of playing time throughout the year, so it just goes to show you just how deep our roster can be this year.
Certainly is. Now, at least with a contest like that, again, it seems like for the Mustangs, you kind of end a lot of contests in 4 innings, at least, again, with kind of the quote-unquote mercy rule, it seems like. But is that something where you kind of see as a coach, or maybe Rick is seeing as well, too, maybe as a negative, where we're not getting those extensive innings, not, maybe once we get into kind of more competitive tournaments like the one you got coming up this weekend of, well, we're not really used to playing full 7-inning games, kind of nail-biters. We're used to blowing out teams, so to speak. Is that something where, as a coaching staff, you kind of worry a little bit of what you've been doing this early in the season?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's nice to win those games because you're winning big, and you don't put a lot of pressure on the rest of the team, especially you don't put a lot of pressure on your pitching and your defense, but don't think for one moment that Rick and I and Reed are not contemplating that at all times and worrying about it to such a degree that we actually have conversations with the kids all the time. That it's nice to win these big ones, but guess what, boys? For the rest of the season, we're going to play some tough baseball, and you have got to learn that when the pressure is on and things are not going your way the way you're used to, and the way you're used to is everybody gets a hit and you pass it down to the next guy. When everyone's not getting a hit and we've got to grind out a win, can you do what you need to do in the bottom of the 7th inning to grind out that win?
And it's interesting, too, because it kind of reminds me, and you brought up a very good point, Nick, kind of reminds me of the early Mike Tyson years. Mike Tyson was, dusting off opponents 1, 2, 3, then finally had to go, go lengthier. I do believe it was against Buster Douglas and did not have the gas. So exactly you got to get this team mentally prepared that, it's great to win and it's good where we're at right now, but guarantee you, for example, this weekend you go to Cherry Creek, competition going to be a little rougher.
It will. The good news is we did have at least an opportunity this past weekend against the Casper Crush where we won 3-2, and very proud of the team there because they actually played a complete game of baseball and it was very competitive. And the Casper brought their A+ game, and we had to win that thing by coming back, right? Because we gave up 2 runs very early, and we battled back and won that thing 3-2. And frankly, between you and me, very proud of the team, because after that first inning, one of the things that we talk about all the time is leadership on this team. We got a very senior-laden team. I expect, and Rick expects, leaders to step up. And after that first inning, we gave up 2 runs. You kind of felt a little bit of tension creep in right away because we're not used to going down, right? And I heard 3 seniors immediately pull the team together and go, guys, this is just the first inning. The kind of team that we've got, we know we can come back and win this thing. All we really need to do is put a run, maybe 2 runs on the board immediately. We're right back in the game, and we'll get it done.
Let's keep on the theme with that weekend series against Casper Crush. First time you, at least the Mustangs, have seen Pioneer Park this season. Facilities good. How? At least, again, no complaints, at least regarding Pioneer Park. Again, they kept it all pretty nice out there, right?
I've got 0 complaints, to be quite honest with you. And we've stated this time and time again. Cheyenne has done, to the city's credit, has done a fantastic job of investing into those 2 parks, if you will, and actually taking good care of them. And I'll tell you, the infield, like I mentioned earlier, the infield out at Pioneer is actually in a little better shape than Powers is. So no issues whatsoever. It's a small park compared to Powers, but that's all good. It's baseball, right?
Yeah, also too, it's a newer turf that's out there, and it has had probably less play on it than at Powers as well. So yeah, you guys are still breaking it in, so to speak, at your second home. Again, going back to what Nick said too with Powers Field. Again, you play day games, but you also mentioned too, and this happens, I know, when we are doing football over at Cheyenne Central. You get the win coming across I-25 there. So tell me a little bit, did you guys, and those wins as they come across kind of whip around, if I'm not mistaken, playing out there a few years back. So but the good news is there's no dust anymore blowing around like it used to be.
You're right. It's this past weekend when we first got there, the wind was blowing straight into the batter's face. By the time we got into the second game, it was really blowing in, or more of a crosswind coming in from left field. So left field played very, very small. And then as the 2 games progressed, right field played a little bit bigger throughout the day. And I'll promise you, the right fielder needed to understand that the ball is going to tell on you a little bit, especially if you get a little spin out there. So you don't need to be running banana routes to the baseball. I need you to get to a spot and get to a spot quickly.
Jay Folds joined us right now from the Cheyenne Mustangs. Real quick, and I mentioned this to Ty when he was in here, and it was really nice that these 2 gentlemen had first time that you got a chance to meet up with Ty Lane.
Yeah, absolutely.
With Post 6. You and Coach Thompson should be a little more at ease now as we get into more tournament play, because the distractions of school, the distractions of whatever the case may be to your ball club, very limited now. I mean, you're going to have the full ball club, and that gives you a lot of options to do some maneuvering throughout the course of a game, especially when you got a 5-day tournament such as the Cherry Creek Invitational coming up.
Yeah, so I don't know that I would characterize our disposition as at ease. Yes, you're right. We've got players. We're getting healthy again, but that's all just in time for us to pick up the pace with respect to being right into the heart of our schedule. So it's nice to have options, but now we're going to be expecting more of the guys, right? Because you just mentioned I've got a tournament that's going to cover a span of 4 days this weekend. And possibly, in order to win the whole thing, you've got to win 6 games or play 6 games at least. And so that's going to stretch my arms even thinner. So, yeah, I've got more options, but now we've got to really buckle in from a strategy perspective on who's playing when and where.
And you got to maneuver the pitching staff, similar as I was talking with Ty. So, again, but you've got pitchers to this point that have gone – whether we've had the blowout games or they've gone the 4 innings. So you would be, if you do have that 7-inning game, have no problems with a 4-inning start, and then that specialist coming in to wrap up the contest, or if need be, you've got the closer out there.
Absolutely, and now we're to the point where we're now getting confident, and I think we're strong. To the point where we can actually go the distance. We had Parker go the distance this weekend in a 7-inning game in that 3-2 game that I was talking about against Casper Crush. And frankly, what we're going to need probably from our pitchers is maybe one needs to go the distance, and the others need to go as deep as they can in the game so that we can save arms for the weekend.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. We're going to continue our conversation with A.J. Folds after these words right here on 1480 K-Ray. As Cheyenne's weather turns warmer, dust and pollen can become a problem for those with allergies, asthma, or respiratory issues. And the last thing you want in the summer heat is poor air quality in your home or office. So it's time to turn to Marv's Plumbing and Heating. That's right, Cheyenne's most trusted plumbing, sewer, and heating business also services air conditioning. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, can handle all your air conditioning needs. Give them a call, 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on the show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480. K-Ray.
It is hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk today. I paid a compliment to the guy. I made him 20 years younger. Jay Folds joined us. I called him his son, A.J. Folds, as we went to the break. Jay, let me ask you this question real quick before we get into stuff on the tournament and what have you. But where I came from in the part of California years ago in the East Bay, we did not have American Legion. However, we had Connie Mack. And we had Joe DiMaggio, and I was fortunate, similar to the Cheyenne Mustangs, to play Connie Mack baseball before I went off to college. So my question is, what is the difference between the leagues of American Legion / Mustangs Connie Mack? What's the difference?
I don't. I'm not an expert here, so.
Well, I'm not either. That's why I threw that at her, because it's the same brand of baseball.
I've never played American Legion baseball. I've never coached American Legion baseball. My son played it one time up in Great Falls, Montana. I didn't really pay that much attention to it. We just basically traveled around chasing him around the state.
Is it practically where you could just say kind of like MLB of, hey, you just play in the American League, we play in the National League, and that's just minus. We both have designated hitters, but we still we're still playing baseball though. Because again, as we're coming up to the Cherry Creek Classic, both the Mustangs and Post 6 will be competing in this tournament, where there could be a potential that if things move in good directions for both teams, you could possibly see each other in the championship round.
Yeah, and maybe it's just subtle rules here and there are the differences. I mean, this weekend is going to be a double ABC sanctioned and therefore run tournament. So maybe, it might be the difference between – the only thing that I've heard is I guess they can't have courtesy runners for pitchers and catchers, whereas with Connie Mack and double ABC, that's a subtle rule difference where we can. And that factors into our strategy at times. But other than that, to be quite honest with you, I just don't have the expertise to understand American Legion baseball.
As we look ahead towards this tournament, as we were chatting with Ty as well, Wood Bat Tournament So, again, as we saw, your team was hitting the metal here against Scottsbluff the time that I got a chance to come on out. Not a subtle difference, though. And again, the kids got to get back into swinging the wood, and they got to find that sweet spot on the bat, because you can make a mistake on metal. That's what people don't realize. On the aluminum bats, you can make a mistake, get away with it. On wood bat, you make a mistake, you're going to probably have some firewood.
Absolutely, yeah. And since that game, we have actually swung the wood bats, both in practice and in the doubleheader against Casper Crush. We swung the wood bats. And Rick and I were talking about this just last night. It is probably taken us that week and a half to sort of get a feel for the wood bats again. Because you're exactly right, and we talked about it last time. There's a much larger margin for error with a metal bat that does not exist with the wooden bat. So you missed the sweet spot with the wooden bat. Quite frankly, you're going to take home a souvenir.
Talk about the Creek Classic coming up again. 5 days of action, or at least potentially 5. But again, we'll look at Thursday, where you'll be taking on the Slammers. Friday, 2 contests against the Colorado Aces, and then also 2 of the Colorado Rough Riders. What do we know about these teams, if anything at all, and just kind of preparation for at least this tournament coming up this weekend?
So to the best of our ability, what we've been able to discern is we're going to be playing 3 very good baseball teams. I don't think there's a slouch amongst the 3, but we've not given them the eyeball test either. So we will, to the extent we can, we've sort of mapped out a little bit of a strategy with our pitching staff. But we are going to be flexible going in and probably get down there and try to put eyes on these teams. We know the Slammers teams always put together top-notch, very quality baseball teams. The Colorado Aces, I think they're the ones that are hosting this particular division. We're in the Division III for this particular pool this weekend, so we know that they'll be tough. And the Colorado Rough Riders are a bit of an unknown, but we've got, at least by word of mouth, we've been forewarned that they will put a top quality baseball team on the diamond as well. So I think in our pool, in our pool in particular, you got 4 very good, very well-disciplined and well-coached baseball teams.
You know, in addition to the coaching staff eyes as you're watching this game, and you know, when you're playing your first game, your second game, you also I guess the easiest way to say this is when you're doing the junior leagues and the CJLs and all that, you know, it's like, hey, Nick hit to center field last time, but you know, this is a little more detailed. You're gonna have eyes, especially for your pitcher, saying, hey, curveball, you know, whatever the case may be. You're gonna have discussions with these individuals on every batter, because that's basically what your scouting report's going to be. It's almost like trial by fire.
Absolutely. You know, where are they hitting in the order? What's their body makeup? What's the body language? What's their approach look like at the plate? What have they done in the past? We're tracking, like I told you guys last time, I keep a whole notebook full of notes via every game. So I know when they were throwing a fastball, when they were throwing a curveball, some other off-speed pitch, what was their tendency in that particular pitch. And so we go pitch by pitch, not at-bat by at-bat. And we'll shift. We do a very good job of shifting infielders and outfielders. We don't do the crazy shifts like I think you and I talked about last time. We don't do any of that they do in the majors, but we absolutely will shift based upon what's going on that day, how's the wind blowing, and all that kind of stuff.
Now, with the wood bats, and I mentioned this to Ty too, and we didn't really get detailed in our last conversation, but once in a while when you do have the wood bat tournaments, we just don't have that kind of bat company here in this part of the world. You may go down to Fort Collins, great, terrific. You know, you can go to Dick's or something like that. But the bottom line is, the bat companies, you need to have them come to you. Have bat companies approached you and said, "Hey, give us a shot," or have you been one, for example, because you're a great note taker? Have you saying, "Hey, you know what? We might want to take a look at this Dovetail company. We might want to take a look at this Mariucci company." And I'm just throwing those out there just because I have a couple of those bats. How do you guys go about obtaining your bats?
So nobody comes to us, and so it's you know, you mentioned trial by fire a minute ago. You kind of do that with your bats as well, right? A couple of kids will get a certain type of bat, a couple other kids will get another certain type of bat. You know how kids are. They see somebody get hot, and all of a sudden it must be the bat. It can't be the hitter himself, right? So then they'll go try it out. So it's a lot of trial and error for the kids, and then they sort of migrate to one particular manufacturer, and then they kind of have a tendency to stick to that as a consequence. And most of our bats, we're not going down to Fort Collins and Denver and stuff like that to buy them. We're typically ordering them online these days.
Do they typically go after and I'll just throw out Nolan Arenado's bat. Do they go after that type of bat company, or it's just one that looks good, feels good?
Looks good and feels good. I don't think they look at major leaguers and say, "What's that guy swinging? I want to go to swing the same thing." And I think our kids are probably a little bit too old. They're growing out of that phase, if you will.
Right. Don't want the Arenado with a maple finish or anything. Nothing fancy like that. But now I'll ask you this question, and we might have talked about it before again, as we've had you and Rick on before. But kind of drawing parallels with the Wyoming Beast, so AAU basketball that represents the state of Wyoming, at least here in Cheyenne. You as well, again, you are known as the Cheyenne Mustangs, or at least the Rocky Mountain Mustangs, but again, you are still from Cheyenne, Wyoming. Heading down to tournaments like this, especially in Denver, where there's big names, big school, at least big teams, scouts are going to be there, but is it something where you, at least the coaching staff and players, kind of go down to these tournaments and have a bit of a chip on shoulder of going, these teams are probably going to disrespect us, go, wow, they play baseball up in Wyoming, they probably make fun and just kind of see you as not a threat. Is that something that traveling in it could be Denver, it could be in Nebraska or going up to South Dakota, is that something that the Mustangs kind of carry with them going on the road?
Oh, absolutely. I'd be lying to you if I told you anything else. Yeah, absolutely. We go down to Colorado. And those folks down there, think that teams from Wyoming can't compete. I think I mentioned to you guys when I was on your show last week or the week prior about a kid out of Dallas that I was having a conversation with, and I was just joking with him, trying to get him up to come up here and play for us. But truth is stated in jest at times. So I wasn't opposed to it if he'd be interested. And he went and talked to his pitching coach, and frankly, I was appalled at the response, and that was, you shouldn't go up there. It's not going to do anything for you. It's not competitive baseball up there. You need to stay down here in Dallas. And so, yeah, I had a chip on my shoulder as a consequence of that conversation alone. So you absolutely you can bet that the kids will go down there wanting to prove that Wyoming kids can play baseball as good as Colorado kids.
And again, too, this is not an inexpensive proposition for the kids. And again, too, this is a lot of parental help during the baseball season. You're going to be down there at least 4 days. So the question is, do you stay or are you going to commute back and forth?
We have elected to this time. It's situational. This time we have elected to stay. We'll stay the whole time because we're going to play at Peak to Peak High School during the round robin for Thursday and Friday, and then we will assume that we're going to go to Cherry Creek High School if we make it into bracket play. And based upon the times, we're going to play at 2 o'clock tomorrow. And then we play it first thing at 9 o'clock and 11:30 on Friday. So we're just not willing to make the drive that early in the morning.
And take a chance on traffic or some knucklehead, pulling into an accident on Blood Alley there.
And we're very much sticklers for our routine. So we want to be there an hour and a half ahead of game time, and so we're just not going to mess with that kind of stuff.
Kind of keeping that superstitious baseball role.
That's baseball players for you.
Maybe, yeah, I think it's great.
It's the reason why I got this ridiculous beard right now, but that's for hockey. But
I asked this question too of Ty, and I want to ask this because I don't think we got into that part of the program because we had a lot of discussion with you last week. The discussion with Ty was practices.
Right.
How do you get together with your guys for the 1-2 hours that you have practice? Is it simulated games? Do we go through fundamentals, bullpens, a little bit of this, a little bit of that? What is a typical practice, especially now as as you get ready for this tournament?
It's all about the fundamentals, and it's all about repetition. And so sometimes baseball practices can get boring. Because, say what you want to say, but the more reps you put in, the more you're building the requisite muscle memory you need to perform on the baseball field during game time. So typically the way we run things is, as I mentioned earlier, I'm taking a lot of notes, and then Rick and Reed, when they see something that they need me to take a note on, I'm going to take a note. And a lot of the notes will be geared towards what did we mess up, and therefore we need to sort of focus on over the next week of practice. And then what we'll do is we will design a week's worth of practice at the conceptual level. Then as we go practice by practice, we're getting down into the details. Like, for instance, yesterday we were working on first and third situations for a good chunk of the practice, and we also worked on rundowns. I mean, even with these seniors, we got to still work on the fundamentals of rundowns, and we also worked on reading balls in the dirt for the base runners to understand when they've got an opportunity to advance to the next base. Don't wait and see it off the catcher's chest. Make sure you predict that the ball is going to be in the dirt and anticipate to such a degree that you go ahead and run and just take the chance.
Tomorrow it's a 2 o'clock start. 12:30, you expect to be out at the ballpark. Even if you left here at, we'll just say 11 o'clock, that puts you there at the ballpark at 12:30. But don't you want the kids to do a little hitting before the game? And again, one thing that Denver and that area is loaded with is a lot of facilities to go down and crank up the bat. So I'm assuming that there's going to be a little more than just stepping on the field at 12:30 and stretching.
Yeah, and that's part of our routine. So the hour and a half that we talked about, we factor in that if we have the ability, we're going to hit an hour and a half prior. So that starts our routine as we get out there and start swinging the bats. And we typically allow the kids to do that on their own. But we want them out on the field and stretching at the 1 hour out to 45-minute out mark. So that hitting part is already factored into the hour and a half.
So now as we're heading into kind of the thick of the schedule for, again, both Post 6 and Mustangs, but now, again, post, school and everything, getting into the thick of it with these tournaments coming up. 22-1, or again, I do believe 24-1 at this point. Right now as a coach, obviously you got to be very happy with this. Is it something that you expected out of this team, or did it come at a kind of a shock that, wow, we've done this well up to this point in the season?
Well, we knew we could get to this level. But it's baseball, right? And at any given time, you have a dry spell, and I don't care who you are. You struggle to come out of a slump, or you build a slump in for the entire team, and you're just not going to perform to the best of your talent, right? And you just have to deal with that dry spell as a team. But for us, we've been sort of fortunate in the sense that we're clicking on all cylinders at the plate. And then with respect to our defense and our pitching, it's been timely. When we've needed it, we've gotten it. When we didn't need it because we're hitting the ball so well, we didn't necessarily get it, if that makes sense. And so we've been very fortunate that things have come together to such a degree that we are 24-1. If would I have looked you in the eyes, before the season started and said, absolutely, I'll be 24-1 and I'll bet you a paycheck, I would have never, ever done that.
But also, too, at this time of year, right now, this is where you kind of separate this ball club from the record itself, because now you're playing, again, not taking away from the teams that you have played, but more quality teams, more tournament action. And again, this is where arms are going to be stretched, fatigues are going to set in, because again, too, you're asking a lot of these young men and some of these star performers to give you a lot of innings out there. And this is where you're going to find out what kind of ball club you really have right now.
Absolutely. We have played quality teams up to this point. I'm not going to tell you every one of them were quality teams, but we have played quality teams, and we've played them with enough time and distance in between the games that we can rest and recover and get an arm ready to go again. We're about to be tested over the next 4 days. In order for us to win this thing, we've got to win 6 games back to back to back to back, right? So there is no opportunity to rest and recover from the previous game, and you're going to be throwing at us Slammers Embry, Colorado Aces, Colorado Rough Riders, and I'll promise you all 3 of those teams are going to be great baseball teams. And then if we survive pool play and make it into the bracket, the top 8 teams in the entire tournament are going to go on to play in the bracket. So we're only going to get more challenged at that point in time, and arguably we're going to be struggling with some arms. And that's what I was saying. We're going to have some guys that are going to have to go the distance.
But for the team as a whole, though, again, as we're talking elevated play, elevated teams, again, you've still played 25 games. You are 24-1. Confidence levels going into this tournament and on forward in the season. I mean, confidence for your team has got to be just through the roof. They not saying that they're thinking that they're immortal, but go, hey, Colorado Aces, we can absolutely surprise you. Colorado Rough Riders, any one of these teams, we can take you on.
rest assured our team is ready. This baseball team is absolutely ready. They're ready based upon a 24-1 record this season, but I will tell you we've been getting these guys ready for the last 3 or 4 years because we've been playing them in these types of tournaments, the same kids on the same team at a much younger age, and they've gone through the trials and tribulations of having to play up, if you will, compete against much better teams, but we've competed with grit, tenacity, and determination. So it's not just that 24-1 record. I would argue that Rick Thompson has done a fantastic job of getting these guys ready over the course of about the last 3 or 4 seasons, if not more.
Well, and also, too, this is another one of these tournaments. And, again, I think you and me would both agree that the pool play is always good. And then, of course, it's one and done when you get into your quarterfinals, semifinals, and obviously the finals. But as you look at tournaments like this is a very prestigious tournament. Also, too, a lot of your young men that are wanting to move on and have moved on may get a look at that next level as well.
Yep, very prestigious tournament. Is a Connie Mack qualifier, which means the winner of this tournament gets to go on to Enid, Oklahoma, and play in the regional. So you can rest assured that there will be a lot of quality baseball players. You're going to have guys out there probably that got drafted this week and probably several D1 signees, and you'll have plenty of college scouts out there now that most of their seasons are over watching these young men play baseball.
Jay, it's always a pleasure to talk baseball, especially with the Cheyenne Mustangs. And again, too, we also want to thank Ty Lane, who came in earlier as we had a chance to talk Post 6 baseball. Both of you are going to be down at Cherry Creek, and really – I think as Nick mentioned, we would love to see both of our Cheyenne teams.
I think there's
Wyoming.
I think there's a good possibility that we have at least it's a Denver-based tournament owned by Wyoming teams, possibly.
Hey, and anything's possible because I know down
Talk
there.
about a chip on the shoulder. Hey, how about that of going, hey, Denver teams?
Absolutely. I got 4 rings in Phoenix from Denver teams that weren't expected to win as well either. So let's go out there and let's show those Colorado teams what we're made of.
But certainly best of luck to again both Mustangs and Post 6 as well.
Thank you so much, Jay.
You bet. Appreciate you guys.
All right, Jay Foles joined us here on 1480 K-Ray. We're going to take a timeout. We're going to come back. We're going to wrap up with sports as we got some other things to talk about after these words right here on 1480 K-Ray.
This is R.J. Fox. 1480 K-Ray is your home for live play-by-play coverage of high school basketball and football. Join me as you'll hear all the play-by-play of Cheyenne East, Cheyenne Central, and Cheyenne South football and basketball. You'll hear the conference action along with the postseason as well. During the basketball season, 1480 K-Ray will be featuring both boys and girls games. So catch all the calls on AM 1480 K-Ray. Also streaming the games online at 1480kray.com.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
All right, good half of football, boys. Now, good is good, but we can always be better. Look at Taco John's. They took those tasty little potato lays and loaded them up with bacon and ranch and all kinds of good stuff. They made something good even better.
Taco John's new loaded potato olays are loaded with craveable toppings for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even dessert.
So olay the day, boys, and play like you're making loaded potato lays.
Olay the day at Taco John's.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Do you have a big remodeling project in mind? Then the best tool for you is a home equity line of credit from Platte Valley Bank. Whether you are remodeling, making home repairs, or expanding, a home equity line of credit can help you finish that project. Stop in and we'll show you the hidden value in your home with a home equity line of credit from Platte Valley Bank.
Some restrictions may apply, subject to credit approval. Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 78. And for tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with a slight chance of rain with lows around 52. On Thursday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 83. And on Thursday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 52.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing!
And it's only here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
Well, I'm not going to stop at baseball right now because we do have a couple games that are going on this afternoon. Padres have beaten the Braves 3-1 at Petco. That's a team that's not going away right now in the West. They might be the ones you beat up on, but they took 2 out of 3 from the Bravos. And the Giants looking like they're going to go down to the Diamondbacks. It's 4-2.
October, we'll see where these teams are.
I know, but I'm just saying
Padres are getting hot
right now. Again, the Diamondbacks leading the Giants 4-2. Giants got to run at first, 1 out in the bottom of the ninth.
Let's be honest. Are the Padres going to be buyers where Giants, Dodgers, Rockies possibly could be, Arizona as well? Do I foresee the Padres being a buying team to go, hey, we have a shot to make it to the playoffs, maybe win the NL West?
You never know.
No.
I really don't. Never know. I mean,
they made their options. They made their moves. They got Hosmer. Congratulations. Sorry, Padres, you're not making it this year.
Well,
it's a team that's on a bill.
They're doing it cheap, and guess what? They're not out of it right now, especially in the West. Well, that's the only big paycheck next to Myers on that team right now. Looking at last night's game with the Rockies, we didn't get a chance to talk with them because both coaches happened to be in at the time. Cargo, I mean, he just launched one at Great American Ballpark. So, and again, it's funny because we talk about Coors Field, and that's why I'm throwing it out there. Great American Ballpark seems to me, and again, I think they had 33% humidity during game time last night. Watching the games that we've seen, even when the Giants beat the Reds that time during the playoffs, Great American Ballpark seems to be more of a launching pad than Coors, than Old Turner Field in Atlanta. I mean, home runs come aplenty in that ballpark. Iannetta hit one to right field last night. I didn't think
you could say that about New York. You can say that about a lot of places.
Those places have short porches. At least over at Coors Field, it's symmetrical. Okay, New York has that short porch in right field, but Great American Ballpark is pretty much it's a hitter's park. And just watching last night, I mean, Cargo just knocked the snot out of that ball and hit it 473. But it was a good win for the Rockies.
It's not really synonymous as being a hitter's park. Again, what do you think of a hitter's park? You think of Coors.
They all say Coors Field is going to be your home run hitter's park, but I think
that's absolutely right.
I think Cincinnati, if you look at numbers, I think Cincinnati gives up as many home runs, if not more, than Coors Field.
No, I really don't.
I think you need to go look at it.
Are we looking at Reds games that go out of hand of where teams are scoring and putting together 30 runs on a board? No. Again, where you can see stints of 10 runs in an inning, maybe if the Reds are that bad, but nothing like you see at Coors Field. Again, talk about some come from behind, especially Rockies or whatever team that is there in Coors. Again, I think if you're a hitter, you think of your favorite ballpark, it would be Coors. There's no doubt about it. Again, does Cincinnati, compared to Coors, get the same stints of, Pete Rose played in Cincinnati, so his numbers are inflated because of that.
But he
ballpark.
didn't play there. He played.
I'm just saying.
No, wait.
Okay, what about Joey Votto?
Pete Rose played at Crosley Field. He played at Riverfront Stadium.
Okay, wrong example, so let me speak before you go and chime off. But again, at least Joey Votto, some of the big names, big hitters that have played for the Reds. His numbers are inflated because he played in Cincinnati. Is that going to be an issue once not saying that Votto is a Hall of Famer, he's a fringe, he's still a good player, but wow, he was only Joey Votto, and he had those numbers because he played at Cincinnati.
We're only going to know that if he gets traded. We're only going to know what kind of player Votto really is because he's put up great numbers every year as a Cincinnati Red. I will give you that.
All right.
And they've been in Great American Ballpark all during his career.
So players who have played for the Rockies, again, not standing up for the Rockies at all, but Arenado, I've heard rumblings of, his numbers are like that. He was considered for MVP along with Blackman because he plays at Coors Field.
No,
Todd Helton, who played his entire career, he's probably not going to get a whole lot of respect going into the Hall of Fame because he played his career at Coors Field. Again, you take that of players who are now and have retired of that team. Have we of the Cincinnati Reds playing in that ballpark, at least to be specific? Have I heard anything like that before? No.
I'm just throwing it out there. That's all I'm doing.
You'll have to do your research on that one.
I will do it. Just looking at last night's game real quick. Rockies got some serious problems with their middle relievers right now. They performed last night except for Brian Shaw.
Are you a broken record?
I know, but Mike Dunn, he threw a third of an inning. He has almost an 8 ERA. McGee came in. He got an inning in, gave up a couple of hits. He's got about a 5 ERA. And Shaw got tattooed again. 2/3 of an inning, 3 runs, all earned, 5 hits. His ERA is at 7.36. I mean, again, Kyle Freeland did what he had to do. He got him into the 6th. Matter of fact, got him into the 7th inning. His ERA 3.48. He's 6-5 on the season. I'm telling you, the Rockies middle relief just not going to do the job for him. So when it comes, and I thought earlier,
what the hell is wrong with you right now?
Excuse me, I had a burp come up, if you don't mind. I don't know if this team's going to have that that moxie to get him into the playoffs here. Unless
if they make it to the playoffs,
these young guns get him into the 7th or 8th inning. Get him to
again,
Davis.
as we've talked about it, are any of them going to? No, you don't expect that out of them. Again, this is the same situation of what we saw last year with the Rockies. Yeah, sure, they made it to the playoffs, but then eventually that bullpen did collapse. Are they going to last that? Again, as we are in June, they still have to go through July, the dog days of summer with August, September, into a little bit of October. I don't see it. Again, we're looking at a similar Rockies team as what we saw last year that petered out in the first wild card game against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Sorry, unless they make moves, no.
I think in the case, though, of Bud Black, he's got to start looking at these younger guys like a Freeland who was cruising along last night, and he's going to have to take a chance and let him go into the 7th inning.
I guess.
Let him if he's cruising along after 7, let him take the 8th. He threw 107 pitches last night. That's one of those rarities for a Rocky guy, throwing 100 pitches plus. So anyway, they will get together at 5:10 this evening. Game 2 from the Queen City between the Rocks and the Reds. Game 3 also will be in the Buckeye State. It will be at the Land at Quicken Loans Arena, where Cleveland will play host to the Golden State Warriors. Again, I'm going to ask you for the 3rd time today, have we heard anything on Iguodala?
No, not at this point. He was upgraded to he's not out, but questionable. Again, I think it was a daytime decision, but has anything come out? Probably. But from what I saw a few hours ago, he is still, again, questionable at this point. Again, he was upgraded just a little bit, but nothing confirmed of is he going to start, is he going to play, or is he going to be dressing up or in street clothing. We don't know.
And I don't see anything here to counter that or whatever. They have not posted anything yet on his condition. I did see earlier that Michael Thompson, who is Klay Thompson's dad, was talking on a radio show the other day. Klay will be playing in his option year next year.
Mm-hmm.
As
we know.
And we've already talked how much cash he's going to make. The question is, if he moves on, he could be that next $30 to $40 million guy if he wants to move on. Or does he want to extend his option with the Warriors? Now, the Warriors, let's put it this way.
It sounds like with Thompson, as he talks, that he's committed to this franchise, to this team.
Yeah, but then again, too, money talks. I mean,
does it?
I asked myself this.
Does it, though? Again, as this team has done a lot of talking of, hey, we're willing to share.
But let me ask you this question, though, Nick. If Thompson makes...
We're willing to share money in order to win championships.
If Golden State offers him $24 million, and the Knicks, for example, I know they're lousy, but the Knicks come back and offer him $34. I mean, how many more millions?
KD, you could have probably made great money elsewhere, but you decided to come to Oracle and Golden State where you're going to take a pay cut, but championships. Hey, Klay Thompson, you could go to the New York Knicks and make a lot of money, but you're going to probably just be pathetic, and they're going to win probably 10 games, go have fun. Or you can stick here. Yeah, sure, you're not making money. We can find a way.
Here's the numbers that are being thrown around. If Thompson decides to stay with the Warriors, probably on a 4-year deal in the neighborhood of about $119 million. If he moves on, that same 4-year deal could escalate as high as $160 million. So the question is,
I'm just saying, this is a team that is not selfish regarding money.
You don't think it's ego? Okay. I'm glad to hear this.
Clearly not. Again, where, hey, they've made the sacrifices of going, hey, Curry, I'll let you get your money. I'll take a pay cut, or whoever. I'll let you take get some money in return.
Well,
again,
Michael Thompson kind of stirred the pot because basically said, I don't see anything getting done until sometime next season.
All right, fine.
All right. Oh no, I just brought that up because
who cares? What say does he have? Again, he could be a little, whisper in the wind, or at least say, "Hey, son, do this." But again, it's Clay's decision. It's a decision of, do you stick with this team that's going to lead you into probably greater things, of something that maybe we haven't seen in history. Again, this is a team that is not slowing down, not looking to go anywhere at any point in time.
Does $10 million a year more change your mind to play elsewhere?
Not if I'm winning championships. What am I playing a sport for?
To win championships.
Okay. What is he doing right now?
Winning championships.
All right. Hey, do I take my chances to go to play with the Lakers that they'll give me $40 million? I'll probably be pathetic again. Or do I just stick with something that's working where, again, this is a team that's already made history of, most wins in a regular season. It is doing something that we haven't seen in quite some time. It is turning into a new era dynasty.
Let's wrap it up here. Golden State Warriors swingman Andre Iguodala is officially listed as a game-time decision, as Nick mentioned, for Game 3. But Golden State coach Steve Kerr said today there's a very good chance he will play. So that's bad news for Cleveland if he does play. All right, coming up, we have for you Red Skelton ×2 on the Golden Age of Radio Theater from 8 until 9. Our day just flew right by. And from 9 until 10, it will be Suspense Theater, the best of the 50s and 60s musically inside your radio. We go back over to Nick on this date in history.
This one's pretty much a gimme, but June 6th, we'll go back to the year 1944. This happened.
D-Day.
But tied in with sports. What happened on this day, June 6, 1944, that was around the D-Day invasion? It pretty much just calls out to you. Okay, again, I can tell you that.
I got a blank stare,
yeah. So on this day, June 6, 1944, baseball cancels all games honoring the D-Day invasion. So Major League Baseball. Again, that's how you tie sports into history.
I wasn't around at that time. All right.
What was going on at 1944 that would tie in with sports?
World War II.
Sports.
Oh, what was tying in with sports?
At 1944. Baseball was pretty much your only thing.
Right. And again, with World War II, a lot of it was kind of wiped out because of the war.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. With
again,
that,
a lot of those players went on and joined the forces to go fight in World War II.
Yes, they sure did. All right. With that all being said, we're going to wrap things up on this